Hey you guys, Michelle Medler here. I'm going to help you with the Portland Youth Jazz Orchestra assignment that looks like this. The idea of this assignment is to get you learning on your own this melody that we're listening to, the Limbo Jazz. Can you learn the melody by ear? So, in order to do this, it's a harder process than you might think. It's a pretty simple, riffy melody, but you really have to stop and hear one note at a time. That's the big secret. So, I'm going to cover a couple things before I get started. First, why would we give you this handwritten kind of thing with the rhythms on it and ask you to just fill in the note names? Well, it's because we want you to do the transcribing process, but your involvement is to get the notes. You don't have to do the rhythm part. Now, to transcribe something as opposed to transpose, some people mix those words up. To transcribe something is like to scribe. You're supposed to write it down. Now, really all we need you to do is to be able to play this melody by ear. You don't need to write it down at all in order to do that. But what happens is if you go and you sit down and you learn it one day, maybe you can't quite remember the part you learned and it feels like you're starting all over again. So this is a way for you to take some notes. So Ben already put in the rhythms for the song. You don't have to bother with that part. You just write down the note names above it, and then you have a little guide to help you get through if you forget it. I want to show you an example. One of my students and I are working on transcribing the sax solo that's on Pink Floyd's Money. And when we do it, we're really just trying to remember it, But the idea isn't to get it written down. So this is how I tend to do that. So I put a few rhythms in there as we go just because I know what they are and it helps me see through my weird little dots. Like when it's just like this, sometimes it's hard to know what it is. But if you go back and put it on the recording in 2 months and you look at this, you at least have a guide. And in your mind, you already know how the solo goes. So let's try to figure out how to transcribe this. That pause button is your best friend. It's the hardest thing to learn how to use because everybody wants to move ahead. Oh yeah, I can hear 2 notes. I can hear the whole phrase, right? That's where you get into trouble. So I'm going to put it right to the beginning. Turn it up a little. Ba, ba. So I'm trying to sing the note. If I don't sing very well yet and match pitches, keep working on that. Okay, so now am I sure I heard the right note? Well, I've now heard this a million times, so I know I did, but I'm going to just show you what you would be doing. Rewind it just a couple seconds. Okay, now I'm going to look for that on my horn. Now let's say I'm a normal student in high school or middle school, and I haven't done this very much. I might not guess the right note right away, so. Well, I did happen to guess the right note. I guess I couldn't help myself. So if I go, get the right note, great, I move on. Ba, ba. I heard that was the same note, so I did that again. Then, I'm not sure about the next note yet. Let's see. Ba. So let's say I hit this. That's not the right note. That's not the right note. That's not the right note. What am I doing to slow down my process here? I'm skipping all over the place. So I started here. When I'm looking for, I'm looking for that note, but I was here. Not the right note at all, but I can tell that my target is above me. So I'm going to just go up scalarly. No. I'm close. Now I found the note. what's the next note? I got lucky. I got to hear it right away. I know that's the next one. Bob. No. There it is. Okay. I'll let that run for a second. Set my saxophone down. Now those notes, actually I shouldn't let that run. Those notes, I'm going to write down from me on the alto saxophone. So that was C, 2 C's in a row. So I'm going to use a Sharpie so you can see it. And I'm going to write C, C. Now what was my next note? E. And my last note was my F. Now, you can see that. That's how to do this homework. And if this becomes really, really difficult for you, please send us an email and ask us for a little bit of help. We might be able to chat with you on the video or over the phone or something like that to give you some help. And eventually we may send you the song so you can correct your work. But please communicate with us. We're hoping this works out. It would be really nice to see you in person and help you through this process. But anyway, good luck, be brave, and be healthy. Thanks, guys.